All right, I'm Adam here with Alex and Christian from Black Angels. Thanks, guys, for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
So I want to ask you, did you guys grow up listening to the kind of music you play?
We grew up listening to oldies. There's a really good oldies station in Houston, is where we're from, and it's 94.5 oldies channel.
Yeah, no longer there.
No longer there, but I remember they'd play anything from like Strawberry Alarm Clock to, you know, the Beatles and the Zombies, Ronettes, and all kinds of really good stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, everybody's been through like so many different phases of music, you know, from listening to like, you know, Beastie Boys to like hip hop to like, you know, everything. So I mean, we kind of started really getting into the music that we play. I think probably more like in college.
Yeah.
Just to be clear, so there's no awkwardness later, can I call you a psychedelic rock band? Do you call yourself that?
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, I mean, is that your favorite thing to be called genre-wise?
Yeah, I don't know about. I mean,
if we could come up with a new term,
I think
that's the best.
Yeah, we've had a couple terms.
I read something about
Native American drone and roll.
And hypnodrome.
Hypnodrome.
That's
Hypnodrome, but Native American drone and roll would be more like You in Color or like
Never
songs
Ever,
like Never Ever,
Snake in the
like
Grass.
Yeah, yeah. And then Hypnodrome would be more like Science Killer kind of.
Yeah, maybe Black Grease too, repetitive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of Bo Diddley's stuff would be like Hypnodrome.
Oh yeah. John Lee Hooker stuff. Hypnodrome and roll.
Yeah.
Interesting. So I think you listen to a lot of what I call, I guess, psych rock classics. I mean, Jefferson, like some of the appropriate stuff the Beatles did. And that, do you also listen to any, or are you influenced by any modern bands, would you say?
Yeah.
Because if you're some of, say, the guy's name is escaping me, from the OCs.
I just got into the OCs.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah. But some of the bands that were influenced by modern bands, I mean, are like the Ravenettes, the
Clinic.
Clinic's definitely one that's, you know, a huge influence for us, and they're just one of the best bands around right now, honestly. You know, we've influenced by, you know, Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, the Warlocks, Brian Jonestown Massacre's music, you know, but there's a lot of music out there, so we kind of try to just surround yourself with tons of different sounds.
Fair enough. I want to talk about your latest album. It's your third full length. It's called Phosphine Dream. Can you tell me a bit about the environment, the physical environment that you recorded in, and what the atmosphere is like? Because I have a certain image of how the album was recorded. I want to see if I'm right.
Yeah, it was recorded in Los Angeles, whereas the first two albums were recorded in Austin. So we were, you know, away from home, and we got to record at Sunset Sound, which was pretty awesome. And we all recorded in one big room together, live tracking. And then, you know, some things we would go back and overdub, maybe an organ part or some vocals. But for the most part, we like to do everything live, and everything is, we've been playing the songs, anything that's on the album, we've been playing the song for quite a while before, so we can pretty much go in and do it all live.
I was going to ask you, by the time you're ready to record, I mean, how many changes have the songs gone through?
Because it depends on the songs. Some of them, like Christian wrote 2 songs, Sunday Afternoon and Telephone, in LA that didn't, I mean, he kind of, you know, created that song in LA, so it didn't undergo any changes. But other songs like Bad Vibrations, they all had the same vibe, if you will, or an entrance song, but they might have been a little bit longer, more spaced out. I think we put more changes and more movement and different arrangements within the song, which in our opinions made them more interesting, as opposed to just being like a 8 or 9 minute song that's kind of just, you know, goes a groove, you know, that just,
right.
Yeah.
What influence did producer Dave Sardi have on the final product?
Yeah.
Well, he had a lot of input. we went out in April and May of 2009, and all of April we were at a practice space. We brought all the songs that we created in Texas, and he would come in and watch us play the songs. We'd play it, and then at the end he would have a suggestion, like, you know, maybe at this point try doing this. And a lot of the times his suggestions were really cool, and you know, I think one thing I was worried about with working with a producer is that he would, you know, come in with these flashy ideas, trying to make us real polished. But he came in as like the 6th band member. He came, you know, he was coming from the same place that we were as far as influences, and he knew where we wanted to take the songs. So it was really great. And so after he'd make a suggestion, we'd test it out. If it worked, then we'd stick with it. And then
if we didn't, we'd try something else.
Yeah.
He encouraged us to do a lot of, encouraged us to try new things, like maybe less reverb on the vocal, or more reverb here, you know, something, you know.
Yeah.
You know, just encourage us to get out of our comfort zone a little bit, which was actually a really good thing for us as musicians.
Oh, cool. So, I mean, I guess it says a lot about him that he's worked with everyone from, the Stones to Slayer, and other bands elsewhere in the alphabet as well.
Yeah.
So, and this isn't as left field a question as it seems, but have you guys or anyone else in the band ever been haunted by ghosts?
Well,
I wouldn't say directly, but indirectly, we've been involved.
Say no more.
Like, you know, for instance, I was walking around the Gettysburg battlefield on July 1st, 2008, which it was 145 years to the exact day of the battle. And me and a couple others from the band saw some strange sights, heard some strange things. Screaming, musket fire, cannon fire in the distance. It's pretty far out.
I believe it. And I mean, you know, listening to your albums, I believe you guys have had some experience. You know, take the new one, for instance, starting off with Bad Vibrations to River of Blood, obviously haunting at 1300. I mean, were those songs or any others influenced by
I think
experiences?
A lot of those songs, it seems like they were influenced by just the unknown in general. You know, what we don't know. It was kind of like always inspiring us. It's always inspiring us to write something that we don't understand about. You know, I think that's something about human nature. I think, you know, or at least something that we accidentally do, or I don't think we necessarily strive to do it, but it just happens.
It's more of a question? A questioning?
Yeah. I think you should. Yeah, questioning kind of everything, and the fact that we don't know anything, you know, at all, really. You know,
interesting.
The more we know, the more we know.
Yeah, I've always been intrigued by unexplained. I used to always watch Unsolved Mysteries, and
ever saw
stuff's
that?
right up my alley. Yeah. So, you know, I guess it kind of shines through in our music.
Well, it makes for some compelling listening, I'll say that much. Speaking of which, I do want to mention the third song you guys played for us, one of the 3 songs you just played. It was called Ronettes.
It's called Ronettes. Yeah. We couldn't think of a better name for it.
Because, I mean, it does not sound like a Ronette song.
Yeah, the reason why we called that is because it's the drum beat. It's like boom, 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 ch, boom,
I can see
boom,
that.
Ch. But that's that. We sometimes a title, and it's probably like inappropriate, but title has nothing to do with the song. Sometimes it's just like how we reference. Oh, that's that green song that we play, or what? That's that real vibrant, weird smelling song that we play. So it's sometimes we do that. You know, the names, and that's probably not probably not good for sales, record sales. People are like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, there have probably been weirder ones.
Yeah, I mean, I think any title that we come up with, there's some hint of why we at least called it that.
Yes, for sure. It's not a random thing.
It's cool to create another mystery to solve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that song, I mean, two things. One, it kind of blew my mind. And two,
Thank you.
I need to know, what is that on a record that I can get? When is that coming out?
It's actually on the new 10-inch that we're putting out April 16th for Record Store Day.
Oh, yeah.
It's Phosgene Nightmare, and it is a collection of the B-sides. Two, Melanie's Melody and Ronette's would have been nice to have been on the album, but we only did 10 songs. But yeah, so Phosgene Nightmare coming out in 4 days.
And phosgene is a chemical agent that was used in Vietnam War for sure, but maybe
In
North
World
Korea.
War I and World War II, and yeah, but it's a nasty gas.
So maybe it actually wasn't used in Vietnam at that point. They were using
by-
something better at that point, something more evil.
Agent Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah. All right, well, guys, thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you very
It's
much.
great to
Yeah,
meet
Yeah,
Jim,
pleasure
thank you
meeting
for talking with
Good
us.
luck
Yeah,
solving
yeah.
all those mysteries, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. It's going to take time.
It is.
ExploreMusic wears English Laundry apparel.